In today's video, we're going to create this simple contact form with a couple of inputs, and it is also responsive like this. Let's get into it. So in the project folder, I have this background image. You can find the link in the description for it, and create a index.html file as well, style.css, reset some margin and padding, and set the font family to Poppins. And don't forget to link the style sheet as well. So let's start with opening this HTML with live server. So this is going to be very simple. We're going to create a container, and inside we're going to create another div, and inside we're going to create two divs, left and right. So the one on the left is going to hold the image, and the one on the right is going to hold the contact form. So inside the right, we're going to create a h2, contact us, and a input with the class field, and placeholder your name, and another one for the email, same class, and placeholder your email, and another one, text, class field, and placeholder phone number. And we're gonna create a text area, and we're not gonna need any of this, so let's just give it a class of field and a placeholder of message as well. And right under it, we're gonna create this button, send, with the class of btn. And that is it with the HTML. It looks like this now, so let's style it. So first we're gonna make the body cover the page, 100 VH height, and the container is going to be position relative, and we're gonna make this a display flex, align items center to center it horizontally, and justify content center to center it vertically. And width is going to be 100%, height is going to be 100%. We want it to use all the available space in the box, and we're gonna give it a little padding as well, 20 to 100. So the first one is for the top and the bottom, so there is 20 pixels of space at the top and 20 pixels of space at the bottom. And the second one, 100 pixels, is for the sides, so there is 100 pixels space at the left and the right. And we're gonna say overflow hidden, because we're gonna add this image using after. So content is going to be empty, position absolute. We're also gonna give it a little blur effect to this background. Gonna make it cover the whole page. Let's select the image. I'm gonna say no repeat, because sometimes if this images doesn't fit the screen, they repeat themselves all over the place. And also we're gonna make it center, so let's say center to, background size cover, and Z index is going to be -1 to push it back like this. And we're gonna add the filter blur. So after you add the blur effect, there is this white border comes up, and I believe the only solution for it is to make the image a bit bigger like this. So let's style the contact box. Gonna give it a nice border radius of 2 em and max width of 850 pixels. This is gonna help us to create that responsiveness. And we're gonna make this box a grid template columns. So we're gonna create two columns, and we're gonna say 1 fr. So fr means fraction, so that basically means each of these columns are gonna take equal available space inside of this div. And we're gonna also say justify content center, line items center, text align center to center everything, and we're gonna give it a background color of white. So let's also put the image inside of that left div, gonna say height 100%, and gonna add the background image, same as the other one, no repeat, center, and background size cover. Looks like this now. And let's give it a little padding for that right div as well, like this. So I basically created 40 pixels of space on the each side, and the H2 is going to be position relative, and we want to create some space at the bottom, so we're going to say padding bottom 10 pixel and margin bottom 10 pixel as well. So we're going to add a little underline to this. We're going to use after. Content is going to be empty. Position absolute. So I'm going to explain why do we use after instead of just creating a border bottom, and transform translate X. So we're going to basically center this on the X axis. So it's going to be right under this text, and we're going to give it a height of 5 pixel, width of 100 pixel, little border radius, and background color of orange red. So the reason why we used after is when you use after to create this kind of styling stuff, you basically have more control on the styling. So let me actually show you. Let's cut this off real quick, and let's add a border bottom 5 pixel solid orange red. So now, as you can see, it is going to be really hard to make this shorter, add border radius to each side. Instead, we used after for it, and we basically created this another piece. Like this piece is not a part of this text's border. This is another piece that we have more control over the styling of it. So what else? Oh, we're gonna style the field. Gonna say with 100%. Gonna give it a little padding on the top and the bottom and the sides. Outline none. Gonna give it a nice gray-ish border and a background color as well. I'm just gonna copy and paste these colors to save some time. So font size 1.1 rem. Let's see how it looks. It looks fine. So let's also create some space between them by saying margin bottom. Gonna say 22 pixels. So we're also gonna create a hover effect. So let's add a transition as well. 0.3 second ease and little border radius as well. And we have a small problem here. This text area has this little thing over here that you can make it smaller and bigger, and we don't want this. So we're gonna say resize none to delete it, and as you can see, it's gone. And the hover effect is going to be gonna make it just a little darker when you hover over it, like this. And when you click on it, so we're gonna use focus. That basically means when you click on this input, we're gonna make the background color white and border this nice orange-ish color. Let's see. Yeah, it looks fine. And that text area is going to have a minimum height of 150 pixels because of the responsiveness, and the button is going to be 100% width, a little padding on the top and the bottom and the sides, font size 1.1, background color is going to be this nice orange, border none, a little border radius, and we're gonna change the cursor to pointer when you hover over this. Gonna make the text color white, and we're gonna make the text a lot bolder, and let's also add a little letter spacing and a little hover effect as well. So we're gonna make the background color a little darker when you hover over it. And let's add transition as well to make it smoother. And finally, let's make it responsive. So let me finish this real quick and I'm going to explain what it does. And the left is going to be height 100 pixels. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there you go, it works. So this basically means when you hit this breakpoint on your screen, this contact box, remember we set this contact box to 2 columns. When you hit this breakpoint, it's gonna be a single column with full space. And we also make the image on the left 200 pixels in height. So as you can see here, right after you hit 880, this turns into a single column with the image scaled down to 200 pixels, like this. And that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.